What is that waterfall? It is Havasu. Havasu Canyon is a tributary of the Grand Canyon. Havasu means the place of blue waters to the Supai people. And after Abbey dropped out of college for the first time, he made his way out west for the second time. His first time out west was a hitchhiking trip he took when he left home at age 16 and traveled for nearly 2 years, returning home after getting arrested for vagrancy in Albuquerque after hopping a train again. Back to Havasu. Havasu is perhaps the best chapter in the book Desert Solitaire. It was inspired by Abbey's experience living in the canyon for a month or two during the summer of his 22nd year. At the time, he had enrolled in college again, a philosophy program at the University of Albuquerque State. This first summer, in between classes, he went on a road trip with some friends to Los Angeles. They stopped at the edge of the Grand Canyon, where Abbey learned of Havasu for the first time. He hiked down to the Native American village, home of the Supai people, and stayed for a while in solitude, every day exploring the canyons carved by turquoise waters. This was 1949, 20 years before color photography became practical, 60 years before social media. For that reason, the beauty of this canyon was unknown to many people, as was its existence. This unknown gem of a canyon created a niche to be filled in part by its chapter in the book Desert Solitaire. And since Abbey's 1949 summer trip, the village has changed. The geologic soul of the place remains, though. The canyon walls and blue water are just as alluring as they were when Abbey first was called to them. In the present day, around 700 people reside in the village. They host about 30,000 tourists a year. When Abbey hiked into the village, 14 miles from the rim, a trail system was what he took. And that trail system remains today as the only land-based approach to the community. A road system has yet to be built, and I hope one is never built. However, the tribe offers mule and helicopter options to travelers who can't or do not want to walk to this place. Permits are required and typically sell out the day of release 1 year in advance. An indicator of how the canyon has not been freed from commercial development. A large portion of the southern rim of the canyon is outside the boundary of Grand Canyon National Park. National parks have the most strict level of limitations on commercial development and resource extraction. It is also outside the bounds of tribal lands, places where tribal leaders have more control over development. This area is the Kaibab National Forest, which is 1.6 million acres or 650,000 hectares. Its land holdings include areas on both the north and south rim. Southwest of Havasu Canyon in Kaibab National Forest is the Pinyon Plain Mine, formerly known as Canyon Mine. It's 37 miles as the crow flies from Supai Village, or 41 miles in length. Efforts to build the mine started in the 1980s, and by 2024 they succeeded in beginning the production of uranium ore. After nearly 30 years of court battles with the Havasupai tribe and environmental groups such as the Sierra Club. Opponents to the mine, particularly the Havasupai tribe, have concern about surface water and groundwater contamination from the heavy metals, including uranium ore U-308, which is to be extracted from the mine. This type of contamination would have detrimental effects on every living organism it touches. A severe level of contamination would render all water in the Supai village unusable for the village people. Given the neo-colonial history of the United States, when it comes to resource extraction on public land near Native American communities, I am not optimistic in the long-term health of the Havasupai people's water supply in their canyon homeland. Uranium-308 has a market value that fluctuates depending on the demand. At the time of this recording, it's trading near $70 a pound in the United States. There's approximately 1,629,000 pounds of ore ripe for extraction at the Pinyon Plain mine. Multiply those two numbers together and we land in the $100 million ballpark. If we contrast that to the Sierra Club's revenue as listed on their 990 tax forms from the 2022 tax year, which is $167 million and some change, a battle in the tens of millions of dollars. In this case, the mining company emerged as the victor. Looking forward, this mine is within the ancestral footprints of Grand Canyon National Monument, which was established August 8th, 2023.
The country has a new national monument, and it's called the Ancestral Footprints of the Grand Canyon. The land around the canyon is now protected.
Pinyon Plain Mine is not affected because it had a valid existing right before this designation. Time will tell if this designation will actually stop future mines in this area. I expect it will take a sustained effort by future environmental advocates to keep this area mine-free. Circling back to the Havasu Canyon of Edward Abbey's summer of 1949, it is clear that that place no longer exists. Helicopter tours, mining nearby, and visitation levels of 30,000 people per year have changed the place from what it was 75 years ago. It is not a place where a man could venture solo on day hikes and get lost in a side canyon anymore. That said, I hope the people that visit this place connect with it in such a way that they feel the importance of advocating for its future protection. A canyon of this caliber needs more allies to look out for its well-being in perpetuity.